Hello?
Well, hello there.
Oh god, you're real quiet there, Jaden.
You recorded really loudly earlier. So let me
Oh no,
see.
I can barely hear you. Hold on, it might. Hold on. There it is. Okay, say something again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You getting any echo on your end?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. Does it sound fine?
Yeah, you're fine.
All right, cool.
Okay.
What's up, bud? It's been a minute.
It has. You doing all right?
Shit, I'm surviving. You know, I'm still fucking in Cairo or I'm back in Cairo. Well, I don't know. When's the last time we talked? I'm trying to figure out where we left off.
I think like the week before the pandemic.
Oh yeah. You honestly, you're not wrong. But
because I remember I think that's like I gave you the contact info for like that dude in Athens that puts on the metal shows, and we were like both so hype about
and
it.
then fucking
And then
coronavirus
the
happened.
pandemic hit. What a mess.
Yeah, truly.
You want to just jump right in, or
I mean, you want to talk about what we're going to talk about first, or like, I mean, we can just jump right in. I don't really care. That's fine.
it's up to you. Like I'm new to this too, so or, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna learn as I go.
I mean, that's the best way to do it. I also have my singer here, Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah, he can hear everything we're saying too. He might chime in every now and then. I'm not sure. What's up, bro?
What's up? All right then. Well, to go ahead and get started, if y'all don't mind, will you say your preferred name, your pronouns, the date, and where you are?
Shit, what's the day? Shit, man. All right. Hi, I'm Jared. January 31st, I guess. What's good?
All right,
Okay.
Daniel Singletary, January 31st, was it 2021?
Yeah,
We up in this bitch.
what he said.
Hey, so are you happen to be related to a Gene
I am
Singletary?
not.
Okay. Yeah, he lives in Pelham, and he's my cousin's dad.
Yeah,
So
no, I don't think I'm related to anybody in Pelham.
gotcha. Well, since you guys are both from the band Scold,
Yes,
right?
sir.
You want to describe the band sound for us?
Angry. Good music to punch your friends to. That's what I like to describe it as.
We label it as a good old country core.
I like it.
But
I'm here for it.
just like some heavy music. Everybody can groove to. So it's a good time.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
our main goal in the band is just to create not the most technical stuff, but groovy and something you could all jam to.
Yeah. Ain't trying to be over the top musically, just trying to have a good time. Really, that's what it's really about.
I mean, those are definitely the best shows when people are just having a good time.
That's all I want to see. As long as people are having a good time, I could care less what we actually sound like. As long as people are, actually enjoying themselves. But it's a good time.
So y'all put out an EP back
It
in
was
what was it
mid
like
20.
March or April?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
sometime-
April. It was April 1st, I want to say, or April 7th. It was one of those two. Or was it
I think it
April
was-
20th?
I don't know because
I don't know. It was sometime in April 2020. Yeah.
Sometime. So do you guys have any plans to make any new
Yes,
music pretty soon?
we do have some stuff that we're working on, but I think our main goal right now is to really create new music and get a couple of music videos shot, and just basically build up a bunch of material so we can start releasing stuff slowly throughout the year.
And just you're getting the word out. But we are definitely planning on making more music soon. There is a plan to make a full long play record here before too long. It just takes a little bit of time to get all that stuff together and whatnot.
Gotcha. Real
Mhm.
excited for it. Oh, how did y'all record the first album? Like, where did y'all go? Did you do
Yeah.
it all yourselves? Did you have a producer for any of it? Like, how did all
So
that work for y'all?
100% of it was done by us.
Specifically by David McLeod.
Yeah, our drummer.
That man is a magician. He really put a lot of time and effort into it, and really everything you hear on that album is really by that man. That man really worked hard on that shit, and we're all very proud of him.
Oh yeah, like he's definitely the go-to for that because he helps us out a bunch with that. It's
Mhm.
also like helps out our that we could just give him the material and he could record everything,
Mhm.
and helps out our money anyway because it's cheaper that route. And we much rather put money into our own selves and create our own studio than go to these other studios that's going to rush us for time and
Charge you $100 per hour, and it's better this way. But yeah, no, it's all pretty much completely DIY, and definitely you can if you go and listen to the Eye for an Eye single and then listen to the version on the EP, you can really notice that progression and just his skill level as a producer. You can really hear that difference in there because the recording quality just goes up. And we've since the pandemic, we've kind of recorded some rough tracks before, and honestly, like as we're just going along, stuff's just starting to sound better and better.
So, what's practice been like for you guys? Because isn't one of y'all like from like Central Florida? You have to drive like 4 hours for
Yes,
practice.
sir. Old David is down there in Florida. Pat,
Inverness,
yeah,
Inverness, Florida, right up below Ocala.
Mm-hmm. And then Pat's from Tallahassee, and then me and Daniel are from Thomasville/Cairo. So yeah, it's a bit of a drive to get everybody together. You gotta, that's about a 4-hour drive there, literally just there to practice. But again, David is a godsend, so it's entirely worth the drive to go see that man. It is a bit of a struggle, we don't meet every weekend or nothing like that. But we do meet as much as we can. Coronavirus has definitely put a little bit of a damper on things though, because Patrick actually works at the hospital down in Tallahassee. So it's he's out there on the front lines every single day.
Oh yeah, wild
Yeah.
times. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll eventually get everybody vaccinated before the end of the year. That way, y'all can get back
Yeah,
at it.
that's what we're hoping for, because we were really hoping to do like an actual EP release show and back in April, but then coronavirus really started taking off, and I think we were booked for a pretty decent sized show that night too, weren't we?
Yeah, we was getting ready to do probably about a week or 2 week run for the EP to help promote it. But yeah, the pandemic kind of halted that.
But it is what it is. Ain't no point in getting bogged down in the details and all that, because we're still trucking along, we're still doing what we can, while also
You just have a whole album to tour for when y'all
that's
come out.
that's the goal. That's the goal. Just trying to make sure things are moving.
So, since y'all are from like all over, would you say you're based out of Tallahassee, or like, do you really
Well,
have a
we
base
just like
camp?
to say, I mean, we come from like all these different aspects of the walk of life because everybody was raised a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our different little tastes, and we're all living at different places, so we kind of we're pretty much like trash. We're everywhere.
Yeah, we're cockroaches if you want to look at it like that.
We're South Georgia scum.
South Georgia, Middle Florida scum. Yeah. Call it swamp core.
Do it. So since y'all are like, what would you describe as y'all's like, what got each of you into music, and like what's y'all's musical evolution been over the years?
You want to go first?
There's been many different things. I've always had a passion for like music and stuff like that. I never really started pursuing it until I got out of high school. And then I've always liked metal. There wasn't a whole lot of metal bands around, so kind of got drunk one night and was like, "Hey man, let's go for it," and start a band. But after that, I really got hooked. A lot of bands like Lamb of God, Mastodon, stuff like that got me more into metal throughout the years. And like I don't know, man, it just turned into a way of life.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I go, I mean, shit, like it's really like my uncle that got me into the heavier music in general. Like there's a while there when I was like listening to, just because I was a little kid, I was just listening to general pop and whatnot. And then my uncle like turned me on to Slipknot. I remember listening to Duality for the first time, and that's kind of the song that kind of like tripped a wire in my noggin. I was like, oh shit, heavy music is cool. That and Inside the Fire or Inside the Flames by Disturbed, Into the Fire. I don't remember what it's called, but it was that and a mix of like, I grew up like where I grew up specifically, like my little neighborhood. All my friends, we would all play guitar, so it's like it was almost a competitive thing. It was my cousin who initially got me into it. He showed me how to play Smoke on the Water and fucking Iron Man and whatnot, and from there on, it just kind of started taking a kind of a competitive tone to it almost. And for the first like year there, I was the worst out of everybody. Like I just sucked at that shit. Like I wasn't particularly good or anything, but like long term, I was the only one that really stuck with it. And I ended up going to college for it because, music school and whatnot.
Joke's on him. He should have just stayed in the band.
Yeah. That's another thing. Me and Daniel, we've been in 2 bands together now. Actually, back when I was in high school, it was Fear in the Eyes of the Martyr, and that
Good old
good old
Fight 'em.
Fight 'em. And that was my personal first band. That was a good time. We had all the homies in there. Fucking
David Willis.
David Willis, he's a fucking beast at songwriting and on guitar. And like it's really been an honor to like work with that man because he's really fucking improved as the years gone on.
Check out his new band, Beneath the Barons.
Yeah, most definitely. They're really pumping out some good shit nowadays. They're really starting to find their groove. I'm proud of them boys. But yeah, no. So like back then we were playing with all the homies. I had to quit the band because I wanted to go to college and study a little bit more about music and get a little bit better of a grasp of it and everything. And I'd say that kind of helped me shift out of metal in the first place too. It kind of got my eyes open to new genres, new tastes, new perspectives and whatnot.
Oh yeah, we got a mixtape coming out.
I'm still waiting on your bebop album.
Man, I'm working
Jared.
on it, but see that shit right there, it takes time. And I gotta say, bebop and metal ain't the same thing. Two very different.
I mean, would you say
What?
the experiences with like the jazz band and whatnot at ABAC, and any of the other like stuff you played in there? Because weren't you also part of the Latin jazz fusion band?
It was a Latin combo. That was headed by Carlos. He he was a good band director. That was his first real time like really heading anything like that. But I was in that. I was in the Latin combo. I was in a couple of jazz combos. I was in the normal jazz band orchestra. I was in the regular orchestra band. They also forced me to take piano and whatnot, which was that was good too to get your head around everything. But like honestly, like the jazz stuff, that was my favorite stuff to do. Like all things considered, like I just really enjoyed learning all of that, especially with the Latin jazz and like everything Carlos made us learn. That stuff really took me way out of my comfort zone into like a genre of music I've never even really listened to, and now you want me to play it on stage. Like it was just that was a nice change of pace from everybody pushing everybody around in a mosh pit to having everybody just have like a weird circle pit thing. I don't really know what it was, but like everybody was running around. I don't know. I guess it was like some sort of Mexican dance. I don't really know what they would call it, but like everybody was dancing around in a circle. It was cool as hell. I loved it.
I mean, sounds like a circle pit to me.
Kind of, but like it was more dancing rather than pushing and shoving. A lot less anger.
Fair enough. A lot less play fighting.
Yeah, a lot more good vibes, you know. But it was a good time. I enjoyed playing that. I will admit, I bitched a little bit, having to wake up early in the morning to practice. But that's also the price of trying to do stuff in this game. You got to be willing to get up and work when nobody else is, because that's the only way you can get anywhere in the industry, realistically.
Well, would you say having those, doing all that, how's that influenced the way the way you may compose music now for your metal bands? Is there any influence on you, or?
There's definitely an influence. Probably the biggest thing is just like my sense of time and like me keeping an eye on time in general, as in like like the rhythm of the song and whatnot. Because in the what was it called? There was a style of music that we were playing in the jazz band or in the Latin band. It's like instead of focusing on like the the 1 and 2, 3 of the song, you're focusing on the 2 and 4 of the song or of the bar, and just that simple of a feeling changes the whole song, and it also changes how you would play the song a little bit. And I would say like all of that really just helped me get a new perspective on everything, and like really helped me understand like the chords and everything of what I was doing, and like what emotions I'm trying to invoke when I play. Just it made me more conscious of what I was actually doing, if that's a good way to put it. And I can, it also helped me like, with my ear, I can actually hear what it is I want to play, and then actually figure out what it is I want to do on the guitar, rather than, sit there and like play notes in weird orders until you accidentally find something that works. That method works too, but it's a little bit less effective. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Is it common at all in y'all's experience for people to have formal training in the metal scene?
It really depends. It's really not all that common, honestly. I would argue like most people don't give two fucks about music theory, which is fair and fine. I'm not really here to push that shit on anybody. It's really fewer and far in between in the metal scene, because a lot of metal musicians won't even know how to read sheet music. So you can understand theory without reading sheet music, but it's a little bit harder to visualize it and everything. And you can, but it's tend to be like people are a little bit less educated, but that's also part of it, because it's you're at that point, you're not really playing because you're playing by the rules. You're playing because it's what sounds right to you.
Right. It's all about you.
Yeah. Which can that could also be a potential pitfall too, because usually whenever like you play what sounds good, it kind of leads you to the same old patterns that you follow. So it's like music theory can help you get out of that pattern too.
Well, I'll give you a story.
So it's like,
I used to play with this guy. We will shout out names. But every time when we go to play a show, he will get a little drunk and he will be off key on some of his parts.
mm-hmm.
And like it's just, I don't know. Just sometimes when you're up there on that stage and all that, I think it's better to actually know what's going on than just playing it by ear. But also, I mean, you got some people that just are good at playing by ear. So it's a very mixed thing to me. I've been in a couple different bands, and you always meet different people and how different things work for them.
So do you think there's like a preference between musicianship and showmanship at all, or is it you need to just have the balance of the two?
You gotta have a balance, because nobody comes there to see stick figures.
Yeah, most definitely. It's
Yeah.
like you can be the best musician in the world, but if you're just standing there, I guarantee you're not going to capture anybody's interest nowadays. It's a whole like back in the day, and I mean way back in the day, you could get away with that because it was good enough to just be a ridiculously good musician. But nowadays, everybody has ways of making music. You have to compete with computers. Nobody's really learning how to play instruments anymore. It's no longer the only way to be able to play music. So, you're having to compete with all these things, and it's like, the physical limitations that makes us on guitar don't exist inside of something like, FL Studios. So it's like, you're looking at music in a whole different way at that point.
So,
I
in what
just
ways do
like
you
you
guys
gotta
try to
get.
really like push the performance aspect of your music?
I mean, we try to make sure we give high energy performances every time we go out.
Hmm.
We try to make sure we interact with each other and have fun up there, and and we try to engage the audience, and
Hmm.
like we'll do a little like too much choreographed stuff's kind of corny. I feel in my book. But
Hmm.
if you do a little like windmills at the same time or something through some parts, it just sets it off a little bit more,
Hmm.
and that's just something that's going to stick into people's minds.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole reason that you get people to your shows is for you to stick out and for them to be able to pick out like, oh man, that was that band that had that crazy breakdown, or that's
Yeah.
that band that did them crazy moves during that one part.
Yeah.
Like it's all about selling yourself to the fans.
Yeah. And it's like, a little golden rule is, it doesn't, like, if the fans are enjoying themselves, don't worry. Stop your worrying, because if they're having a good time, everybody's having a good time. You're doing what you need to be doing.
But also
You're
it's to
doing
the
it right.
sense of if you're up there on stage and you act scared and you're acting like
Timid and everything.
timid, like they're gonna like you're not giving off the right energy.
Yeah.
You have to give off the right energy for people to receive your music
Hmm.
how you want them to receive it. It's your message to put out for everybody else to interpret. But if you can't get into your own music, then why should they?
And ultimately, every minute that you're on that stage and people are around is the performance. So you're in a completely different mindset in that time space too. It's like you're aware that all those people are looking at you. You know what I mean? Uh, and it's like even little things like just the way you're standing affects the way the crowd feels about you. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
definitely. Like, I mean, even if it's subconscious, there's visual cues everywhere for the crowd to
Yeah,
take.
it's like it's very much so a body language as much as it is an actual language. Through vibrations and actual communication. It's a whole thing. If one aspect isn't up to par with another thing, that's the part that's going to be glaring and obvious. With anything. So it's like, yeah, your biggest weakness has to be strengthened until it's no longer until it's your biggest strength. Basically, that's the only way to get good at it.
Gotcha. Yeah, just coming from someone's perspective who's only ever been in the audience, I definitely I like the way you say it's like a communication thing. And I think it's like a big group thing because
Hmm.
something I always say is that like 70 to 80% of a show's enjoyability is just gonna be based on the crowd and if they're like having a good time. Because if they're having a good time, you'll have a good time, which of course that stems from the band.
Hmm.
But just this big,
Hmm.
I feel like it's a big communal effort. There is like almost I don't know.
It is. Everybody kind of has to commit to having a good time.
Right.
And it is the band's job to make sure everybody is having a good time. Like if any fights are breaking out, I think it is a band's responsibility to hold things up and call that kind of stuff out, because y'all are hosting the party pretty much. Y'all are the main event. Y'all are hosting, so you gotta make sure your guests are having a good time, because none of it's even possible without them. So you're really taking care of a bunch of people,
Have y'all ever had to break up any fights?
huh?
Have you had to break up any fights?
No, not in my experience.
I've been in
Yeah,
almost a few fights.
we play pretty heavy music, so it's like, we let a lot of shit kind of slide. As long as you're not really straight up punching people in the face. Like I know I say it's music to punch your friends to. Please don't actually punch your friends to it. Uh, push them around a little bit, bully them
But
a
they say
tad
it's
bit.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
consent thing. It's a
Yeah.
consent thing.
Is
But just like I
is
don't know.
one
I
giant
haven't really had a
BDSM
whole lot of
mode.
fights in my. Say that again.
It's just one giant BDSM mode. Everybody has to consent first.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Basically.
brother.
Well, pretty much once you buy the ticket and you get through that threshold of that venue, you're consenting.
I mean, it's like there's also an etiquette to it too. You
Right.
can just kind of tell by the audience, like general language to everybody, where shit's about to happen. If you see that there is a wall of people like in a circle around another group of people, unless you're a little bit bigger or a little bit more confident in yourself, please don't go in the center of that group of people, because they're about to start pushing and really just being assholes, and that's the point. So unless you're feeling like hot shit that night, please don't go in there, because you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I'm definitely on both sides of the spectrum, because when I'm up there on stage, I want to see all this. I want to see people having a good time, spin kicking or doing whatever they want to, as long as it's fun. But if I'm in the crowd, I'm the guy that stands off and just watches it from the distance or whatever. I don't want to partake in it. I want to enjoy the performance.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see where everybody gets the energy from, man.
It's also that performer perspective too, because it's like, if you were to do it every single night, you would really be breaking your back every single night doing that.
Okay,
It's like, it's definitely something, to go do like once or twice a month, really beat the shit out of yourself. Really get all that pent up energy out, but like, I wouldn't want to do it every single night, you know what I mean?
I can definitely say that when I've done it 2 nights in a row, that it's not exactly fun on the 3rd day.
No, it's not. But you do get pretty tough if you keep doing it, I will say. If you're willing to stick it out, you'll get pretty tough, shit.
It's almost like you have to get in that flow state where, like, you're just hyper aware of everything that's going on. You have to be able to, like, it is almost like dancing, knowing where you need to move within the thrashing bodies.
Well, I mean, that's where, like, the beat of the song comes back into play, because it's like, if you notice it, like, there's a pulse with the song, and like, people tend to push each other and run into each other with the pulse of the song. So it's like, if you figure that out, you can also avoid getting hit if that's what you want to do, because you can really do whatever you want to in there.
Oh no, you have to know like when to push yours too as well. I'm not trying to deny that. I'm just saying it's a beautiful the rhythm that occurs within it.
Yeah,
at least within a good bit.
Most
There's always
definitely.
beauty in chaos.
Most definitely, I agree full-heartedly.
So have y'all noticed like going to different cities that like certain like cities are just gonna be wilder than others, or is it usually pretty consistent?
Every city has its own personality, I would say.
For sure. I played at places where it looked like it was going to be dead and it was packed. But then I also played where like there was places that looked like they was going to be packed, was empty. So you can never really tell.
Yeah.
But like sometimes, like when you go to bigger cities like Orlando, Tampa, stuff like that, like you could tell if it's about to pop off, or like it's all about feeling the energy. Like, especially if you get like a weekend, like, or a weeknight show, like a Saturday night or something like that, man, it's usually just wild.
Mm-hmm.
In like bigger cities.
And it's like, you always have your like stereotypical people at the shows, but it's like, they always have their own little bit of personality with it too. It's fun to get to know those people, you know what I mean? Because, every city really is truly different.
So where are some of y'all's favorite places to play?
I would have to say I like the place. And I mean, I played one of my best shows there, which was a Retropose show. And we got to open up the show, and we played, it was called the Sound Bar in Orlando. But man, that, like I was telling you about feeding off the energy, like, man, when we got there for sound check and stuff like that, man, you could just tell it was about to be a big show. And like, man, it turned out to be crazy. It almost sold out, I think. That's definitely one of the coolest places too, because when we hit our drops and stuff for our breakdown, it just felt like an earthquake in that stage. And like, it felt great. Like that stage and that sound guy was amazing. The sound was amazing. Like everything about that place was like great. Like everything you want as a musician and as a band, for it to be like, feel like you're not just like another little band, is that kind of show, because like, dude, everybody was in it. It was packed out, and it was a bunch of fun. And nothing went wrong. So
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I haven't really played a whole lot of shows since graduating college, just because I've been all over the place, really. Like, there's that brief period where I was living up in North Carolina, and then I came back, and I've just been kind of all over the place, trying to get a foothold again. Uh, but I don't know. What was that one show? That the show with the plot in you? I don't remember which
That was
place
called
that was.
at the
Yeah.
926 bar.
Yeah, no, that place. I enjoy playing there.
Yeah,
Like, it's a nice
fun
little.
night.
It's a nice place. I ain't gonna lie, I always did enjoy doing the jazz band performances over at Howard Auditorium. I enjoy that auditorium very much. Uh,
It is a nice auditorium.
yes, it is.
Y'all probably got what food and everything, didn't y'all?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well,
That's
I mean,
nice.
we was paying for
Your
it,
boy
so
be eating out of the parking lot
we
in
was
the
paying.
van.
We was paying for it, so I mean, would have been cheaper to do the local shows.
Right.
So yeah, because you're not. How long have you been playing with Scold, Jared? And how long has the band been around?
Scold kind of took place after they've been around for about like 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Coming up 3 years.
Yeah. I've been playing with them. Probably I joined a couple months after I got back from North Carolina. Everybody was kind of weighing the options in and everything, and whether or not I would be a good fit, which is an understandable thing. If I was vetting somebody, I'd want it to be somebody I enjoy being around too.
And plus,
So-
Patrick and Dave is a bunch of assholes.
But no, I've probably been playing with them like roughly about a year now, I think. It's just because been coronavirus and whatnot, it's been kind of difficult to actually do anything, really. Because again, Patrick's out there on the front line, so he's working a lot, and just at sketchy times. So there hasn't been a ton of work going on, but I'm there.
And as Daniel, have you been there in Scold the whole time?
Yeah, I was I'm actually one of the founding members. Me, Patrick, David, and our other bass player at the time, Drew, was actually the one that started it. So yeah, we was playing in another band, and then we decided to break off and do our own thing, and that's how Skull became about. Been rocking it out ever since.
So what's the like band dynamics is in it? Like, is there certain people who tend to write, these parts other than their own instrument, or is like one person writes the lyrics, or is it usually like like a communal effort, or like some people write this song, another person writes this song?
So basically, how it's been is our drummer David, he's been writing some songs, and then
That's an absolute
Patrick
power.
would bring in some songs. So I mean, it's a lot of like they're just working together for the music part.
Mm-hmm.
For the lyrics part, it's usually me, and then I mean, it's like I said, it pretty much flows through everybody because like the one thing that we wanted in this band is total freedom. We could do whatever we want to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be like, you got to do this, that. If you want to contribute this way, you want to contribute that way. That's how we feel that it needs to happen because we're all in this together.
Yeah, just
So we feel like anything that could be contributed to the lyrics or to the guitar or to the drums. Because I mean, pretty much when we write new music, we sit there, we record it, we listen to it, and we give feedback to each other. Hey, maybe we could do it this way or this way. Like so it's like 100% hands on from everybody to create what this music that we're creating is. Because I mean it's something that is ours.
Yeah, and it's like I would say like when you're writing in a band, it usually is kind of a communal effort because you're playing with a bunch of some of your best friends, so it's like you're not really afraid to speak your mind about how you feel about a part. So it's like you can say something like we can all like work towards changing that and making it a better song overall. You know what I mean? And by the end of it, everything sounds good. I also want to point out I haven't written anything on the EP. That was all previous work.
Yeah, I think David recorded the bass for the EP.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, I expect you to step up your game and make the best track on the next album.
Well, of
what
course.
this man
Your
is
way.
doing at practice with his bass lines is going to be great.
Listen,
Trust me.
Listen, man. It's just I caught it at the wrong time. You know, they were already in the middle of recording. I wasn't gonna sit here and impose on them or their style.
He was going to school to learn how to be in a band,
I was just.
and he was already in a band, but now he's back in a band. Like you do it a full circle, bro.
Well, I mean, it's like I had to get learned.
You had to get learned.
Yeah. You know, I had to get a little bit of debt. I had to get learned. You know, life.
But jokes on you, you joined a metal band, dude.
Well, you know, it's like yeah. But you know, there's other bands that exist too.
Yeah, you right.
I can do multiple things. You know, I can play piano, I can play guitar, I can play bass. You know, I kind of got my hands in everything.
Watch out for Jared's instrumental piano project coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
Instrumental piano trip hop album.
Look for it in stores.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the Lo-Fi Beats channel on YouTube.
Yeah, lo-fi beats to chill and relax too.
That's how you know you hit it big time.
I mean, hell, they do make money off that ad revenue. So I mean, yeah, you will be making money, sure.
So what's the furthest y'all have ever played? Like from I guess Tallahassee or away from Florida, since that seems to be more or less home territory.
I think the farthest place for me was in Dothan, Alabama, at the Plug House.
Well, what about Dothan? Or not Dothan, but what's that place we played? Duluth, Georgia.
Oh yeah, we did play up in Duluth. That was like probably an hour away from Atlanta. That was a cool place to play.
Yeah, it's like an hour north of Atlanta, ain't it?
I think.
It's like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, that was just a cool area in general. Honestly, I didn't know that area in Georgia existed. Georgia's a cool state. Georgia has a little bit of everything, and
Which was a nice venue, by the way. Shout out to Sweetwater.
yeah.
Yeah, Duluth's cool because it's like that's. I think that it used to be. It was like a gold rush there, like a couple hundred years ago or something.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was a cool little city. The bar that we played at was really cool. The audience was cool. I think we played with Final Drive.
Final Drive.
Yeah, they did pretty good. I like their music. I still listen to their music every now and then.
What was the other band? Lord of the.
I'm not sure. I can only remember bands that I get a sticker of. TBH. You got to throw the sticker down somewhere because then you don't ever forget it. But
so what? Are there any bands that y'all play with pretty consistently?
I mean, there's definitely a few locals like Carrie and Curse. They're a local death metal, right? Yeah. Brian Williams, yeah. We played a few shows with them.
Did we ever play with this Dying Breed? I mean, I know we played in the band, but did we ever play with them?
We played a show with them. Who did we play with?
I don't know. I guess they're it's really just whoever happens to be on the listing that night. Like I said, I haven't really gotten to play any shows because as soon as I joined, the coronavirus hit, and there haven't really been any shows. So I don't really have a whole lot about as far as shows go.
We definitely played a few shows with the Azimuth, stuff like that. Just locals. We did a little run with here and there with Scold anyway. Like anything touring wise at this moment for Scold has been put on halt because of the COVID.
So are y'all part of any other active music projects? I know Jared, you talked about starting Fight 'em back up, but I don't know if that anything ever came from that or not.
Well, me and David have been talking, and we're probably about to start writing again, because we're both in a place now where we can actually get back and forth to each other's house pretty easy, and the conditions are right again to actually start doing that. So yeah, there's about to be some music going on there. I'm not really sure what direction that's about to take, because like we said, he's in Beneath the Barons now, and he's been actively getting much better on guitar in his own right, and like his songwriting is just out of this world. He's an amazing songwriter. So I don't know. I'm excited to be working with him again. I think I don't know if we're still gonna be calling it Fear in the Eyes of the Martyr, if we're gonna change the name or like, what that really entails. But I am working with him. Me and Jeremy and Josh, we're actually trying to start a cover band, and Daniel's also a part of that. Just another side band. Trying and getting some money with that one, and just kind of make music along the way. Have a good time. Because ultimately, I personally don't really care what I'm playing. I just enjoy playing music. It's just always a good time.
When you say Jeremy, you mean Jeremy, our old roommate, or a different Jeremy?
Jeremy Thomas and Josh Ward. So yes, our old roommate Jeremy.
Is he back in Georgia?
Yes, sir. He is. He's living in Cairo again.
It draws everybody back.
Yes. I mean, really though.
I mean, I'll be back in Pelham in about 6 months. So I'm gonna be right there with y'all.
I feel you, brother. Yeah, that's kind of the part of graduating college they don't really tell you about. You kind of have to. Yeah, you usually end up going back home to your parents at some point.
Until you get at least a little bit of, until you get enough money to actually move out.
Yeah. And depending on what you're going for and like what your location is, it's quicker for some people than others.
So for a Scold, do you guys have like any sort of like end goal in mind? Like, do you guys want to like really try to push it and get as big as you can, or are y'all just going to try to just like live up the local scene type thing?
I would personally say like whatever band I'm doing, I want to take it serious, and I want to wherever it goes, wherever it goes. I'd if it does happen to go big, I'd continue pushing that. Because that'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's just like don't think about that. Just write. Yeah. Try to write music that you like and that that makes you feel good, and maybe that will make other people feel what you're feeling. I mean, of course, we would like to make money, but in the end, as long as I'm just jamming with my friends, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I mean, this ain't about money. I got a job.
Yeah, I mean, if it ends up that way, that's great. But otherwise, we'll still be playing. We'll still be here. Because it's just what we like to do. And I don't know, it's always gonna be like that, really.
So a question that might seem a little odd, but I think it always can elicit interesting responses, is that it seems to me there's a lot of like unsaid like stage etiquette that people just have to learn as they do it, and like as they tour and whatnot. So what's something that just really irks you when people just seem to not know X thing about stage etiquette, like with other bands that you're like playing with?
You got me on that one. Let me think about that.
Well, I mean, I don't know, like maybe just sometimes like going over their time.
Yeah.
Or like maybe they're like, oh well, I don't want to play this spot. Can y'all switch? Or just like sometimes you get a little crybabies like, oh man, I don't really want to go like first or go second. I'd rather go like third or fourth.
Or sometimes you get the fellers that are like, oh, could I borrow your cab, please? Oh, I forgot it at home, and it's like, buddy, why? Like, I don't know. It just shows the lack of professionalism to me. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of little things, but as long as you're not an asshole, man. As long as you do your time, you have a good show. Even if if you're having a good time and you're putting on a good show, I don't really mind if you go over your time limit a little bit. But don't sit there and take 30 minutes to take everything down either, because it doesn't take that amount of time to do that. It's not really a hard process to set up and unload. Just when you get done, move your stuff and then talk to fans and whatever, because there's other things that are going on that night too.
But if you're playing Scold, you're mostly just loading stuff up and getting drunk. That's it.
Yeah.
How have y'all seen the Tallahassee metal scene like evolve over the years or change, or just what's the state of it in general? Because y'all seem to spend a lot of the time that y'all play inside Tallahassee.
Well, we definitely try to limit our time in Tallahassee. We definitely try to not to overplay it. But I mean, throughout the times, you definitely got your hit or miss days. Some shows are better than others. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes the Tallahassee scene is really popping. Sometimes it's not. But I don't know. It really just depends on the time of year, really the day, honestly, because there's always something going on in Tallahassee. It's just a matter of finding it, really. The scene is always pretty cool. I ain't never got threatened or nothing. Everybody's always pretty chill.
I said the same, but it's all right.
Well, I haven't personally. I can only speak my experience.
You're just not threatening, Jared.
Yeah, that is true. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But anyway, bud. About an hour now.
Yeah. It seems to be we're getting close to the end. So
Mhm.
2 more questions.
All right.
First, do you want to? I don't know if y'all have ever put it on the record or not, but do you want to share with the audience what the yellow color from y'all's EP cover came from, or you want to leave it a mystery?
I'm really glad you asked that, Jaden. No, that's a golden question, and I don't want this to be released anywhere else. All right, Jaden.
Hey, I don't even know if it's all right to release this.
Damn, I wasn't ready for this question, Jaden. That was top secret information.
Yeah. I need to have a band meeting first.
Yeah, well, I mean, we might need to, but I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm feeling kind of ballsy. I think I might just say it. It was mustard.
What brand?
Oh fuck, I don't know. Heinz? Yeah. We just sat there and squeezed that shit in the hole. In the hole.
I remember when you told me that. It was just
And-
so funny.
And it's yeah, I mean it's we here at Scold, we like our condiments, We have our we already really like the ketchup bottle for whatever reason, but gang, ketchup gang. I like mustard personally. A little bit of dirt mixed in never hurt, Please don't.
Y'all stage names should be different condiments.
Do what?
Y'all stage names should be different condiments. So one of y'all is mustard, another's ketchup, another's relish.
That'd be solid. We could do that for Halloween or something.
Well, we already discussed the relish thing. Nobody likes relish.
Nobody likes relish.
No.
It's okay. I'll dress up as relish.
All right, that's gonna be my new question for everybody I have on is what their favorite condiment is.
We have thought about dressing up as the Trailer Park Boys.
Oh yeah.
It'll definitely remind me of home.
Nice. But
Okay, so last thing, if y'all just want to, plug everything you've got on the way out, so where everybody can find your music, anything y'all got planned coming up soon that's going to come out, anything you want people to know about.
Well, I would say check out Scold on any streaming service. It's really on all of them. Check out the Dirt EP. We released it back in 2020. We got a decent amount of people are listening to it. Would like more people though, so it's go check that out.
On Spotify.
Really Scold right now is my main focus. Fear in the Eyes of the Martyr might be doing something here in the near future. So go give that page a like on Facebook. Because big things coming soon. But I'd say Scold is our main priority right now. So just check that out. hopefully we're gonna have some music videos coming out here soon. We got some new music in the works, and really, thanks for having us on, Jaden.
Thank y'all for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to all y'all stuff.
Oh yeah, brother.
Appreciate you.